Good morning. We have a breaking news alert right now out of Bangor, Maine.
Yes, officials are just about to share an update after a business jet crashed during takeoff at Bangor International Airport right now. Reuters reporting that that plane is registered to the same address as the Houston firm Arnold and Itkin. This is a law firm here in Houston. This investigation being led by the FAA and the NTSB, so they are among the officials that we are expecting to hear from.
Now, we know that the plane took off from Hobby Airport and landed in Maine, and in fact, there was a crash after another takeoff that happened last night. This, of course, as much of the country was dealing with the incredible and massive snowstorm. 12,000 flights or so were delayed or canceled just yesterday. Let's listen in.
Good morning. My name is Saavedra. I'm the airport director here at Bangor International. Thank you for joining us this morning. We have a few remarks here that are going to be brief, as details are still limited, and we're awaiting additional support from our federal partners regarding this incident.
Welcome to Bangor International Airport. For your safety, please keep your luggage with you at all times and do not accept anything from people you don't know. All individuals must maintain control of their personal property.
So I'll share additional details of what we have and we can share at this time. At approximately 7:45 p.m. last night, there was an accident involving a single GA aircraft that was departing from Bangor International Airport. The aircraft was a Bombardier CL-600. Our emergency protocols were immediately activated and first responders were on scene in under a minute. In addition to the Maine National Guard initial response with their fire and rescue vehicles, the Bangor Fire Department and approximately 10 other municipalities responded to the scene. An emergency operations center was established to oversee response and remains active. The National Transportation Safety Board and the Federal Aviation Administration have been notified and are responding to Bangor International Airport, and we expect them to arrive later on today. The airport remains closed, and additional updates will be provided as soon as they're available, and we can share additional details to the public. We appreciate your understanding and patience regarding the incident and ask that you continue to respect the privacy of those involved in this incident. Once the FAA and the NTSB are on site, we will work together with them to provide additional information as soon as that becomes available. I have a few moments for brief questions, but again, since the situation is still fluid, I might not have a lot of answers for you.
Well, why can't you just say whether or not there were any fatalities? How's that going to impede any investigation that may or may not be coming?
We're waiting for guidance and support from the federal partners before we can make any additional statements to not interfere with their investigations, as they're the leaders of what the next steps look like.
Was anybody transported to the hospital from the crash scene?
I'm not ready to share additional information on that.
Why was the plane allowed to take off in the first place given the storm?
The airport remained open. There were planes landing and departing around that time, and we had crews on site responding to the ongoing storm that we had at that time.
Is there a protocol for weather like this? Is there a time when flights are not able to take off?
So we have crews on site that respond to weather storms, and we prepare for this on a regular basis. This is normal for us to deal with weather events, and we had crews on site to address the weather event that we had ongoing.
And they deemed it safe to take off?
The snow removal operations were in progress, and again, there were planes landing and departing at that around that time of the incident.
Does the fact that it was a private plane impact that at all? Like, would a commercial flight not have taken off last night?
There were commercial planes landing and departing around that time.
Was there a request to de-ice the plane at all?
There were de-icing operations occurring at that time, yes.
Where was the plane heading?
Details about the flight, I would want to hold off on the details on that flight until we have the opportunity to discuss with the NTSB.
you share any additional details on what happened, how long it was going to be?
Not at this time. All of the information I've outlined is the details that we can share at this time. Again, like I mentioned, we're awaiting members from the National Transportation Safety Board to arrive on scene so that we can have those conversations, and they will be taking on the investigation from here.
When do you expect that to happen?
The NTSB has notified us that they expect to have a team of investigators on site later this afternoon, early evening.
They said earlier today that it could be a day or two until people are on scene. Has that changed?
I'm not aware of what they have said or not. The communications that we've had, they indicate that their team is en route to the airport.
Could you give us the tail number on the plane?
I don't have that information here with me, but we could follow up with that.
And is the plane still on the runway?
So when incidents like this happen, the scene of the incident remains in place until the NTSB arrives and releases the scene.
And there are still some flights that are scheduled to take off or land according to the boards. Are those canceled for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, the airport remains closed. We are updating our NOTAMs, which will indicate that the airport will remain closed at least for another 24 hours.
And do we know what the scene looks like? Like, are a lot of crews still there? Like,
Our first responders obviously responded to the incident. They addressed the situation that is on the field, and at this time we are securing and monitoring the scene.
And did weather impact any operations at all last night, whether the cold or the snow?
Well, as you are all aware, there was a major storm that was making its way across the vicinity and across the country. So the weather was a factor in many operations, and I think that even before the accident, there were a significant amount of cancellations and delays already on the board.
What can you tell us about the flight? I know you can't tell us where it was going, but I mean, who owned the plane? It was a private jet. Can you tell us anything about that?
At this time, I don't have additional information to share with you. Again, I would wait for additional information once the NTSB gets here, and then we're able to provide additional information.
And what were?
Did any other flights land prior to the plane taking off? Like, did any commercial flights land here? Like
Yes.
An hour or so before?
Yes, shortly before the aircraft incident, there were departures and arrivals.
So do you not know if there were no survivors, or are you just not ready to share that information?
We're not ready to share additional information.
Can you explain that a little bit more? Why exactly can't you share whether or not there were any survivors?
Right, because it's an ongoing investigation, and the NTSB is taking over from here. So,
Does the airport typically operate under conditions like last night where we have so much snow coming in?
the airport has a professional crew of snow removal operations that works at every event that we have to maintain safe operations around the clock.
And what conditions constitute closing the runway or closing the airport?
Yep. So there's different criteria that can be used to make that determination, and so it's in a case-by-case situation.
What has happened to the passengers who are stranded at this point? I know the airport typically closes after last departure.
I'm sorry, say that.
What happens to the passengers who are stranded and unable to fly out at this point?
Yep. Well, we're advising passengers that are scheduled or were scheduled to fly into or out of the airport is to contact the airline so that they can get additional information on their impacts to their travel arrangements.
I'm sorry, can you just talk at all about what the conditions were like at the time of the crash?
Yes, so I don't want to get too much into the details, but again, as you all might be aware, the snow storm started taking effect into the vicinity right around that time, so that's more or less what I would say. That's all the time that I have for questions. Thank you for your time, and we'll provide additional information shortly after, once the NTSB is here. Thank you.
Is the NTSB telling you not to share anything about fatalities?
The director of the airport there, Bangor International, we know that a plane took off from Hobby, landed there at that airport, and then tried to take off again 7:45 at night in the middle of this storm. And all we know is that it crashed. Now, remember that there was some audio from when it took off that said that the plane was upside down. Interestingly, though, we didn't really get any additional details there because he said they're waiting for the NTSB.
It's rather unusual that we're getting so little details about this, and just even finding out whether patients were transported to the hospital, whether there were any survivors. But again, our initial reports are that 8 people were on board this Bombardier Challenger 650. It is registered to an LLC right here in Houston, Texas. It did take off from Hobby Airport, landed in Bangor, Maine. Obviously, that was not their destination. This could have been a refueling stop. And again, right in the middle of this very severe weather. So we will continue to follow this story.
The NTSB and FAA will apparently be there tonight, and they will be giving more information about what happened to those 8 people on board. Thank you for joining us for this breaking news update. We'll have any more updates for you online, on air, and on the KHOU 11 mobile app.